more of David Brat. In his campaign speeches, he pointed out that he isn't worried about climate change because, his words, rich countries solve their problems. This is what he said. Quote, if you let Americans do their thing, there's no scarcity, right? I mean, this guy's a college professor, right? All he does is open his mouth and bats and cockroaches come streaming out. If you let Americans do their thing, there's no scarcity, right? They said we're going to run out of food 200 years ago. They were going to have an ice age, and now we're heating up. Of course, we care for the environment, but we're not mad people. Over time, rich countries solve their problems. We get it right. It's not all perfect, but we get it right. Now, he didn't say what would happen to the not-so-rich countries when climate change begins to affect their growing cycles and their drinkable, is it potable or potable? Potable water, the insect infestation. Yeah, no. You know, we don't have that in rich countries. He didn't say anything about the not-so-rich countries dealing with rise in sea levels and droughts and extreme weather. This guy is a real fill in the blank. Asked about cuts to Social Security disability insurance, SSI, SSDI, whatever that is, Brat replied that he supported drastic reductions in payouts from social programs for seniors. This is what he said, quote, I'll give you my general answer. And my general answer is you have to do what's fair, right? So you put together a graph or a chart, and you go out to the American people. You go to the podium and you say, this is what you put in on average. This is what you get out on average. Currently, seniors are getting about $3 out of all of the programs for every dollar they put in. So in general, you've got to go to the American people and just be honest with them and say, here's what fairness would look like. Right. So maybe the next 10 years we have to grandfather some folks in, but basically we're going to move them in a direct line toward fairness. And we have to live within our means. Can you believe? You know, this makes Eric Cantor look like a flaming liberal, doesn't it? Huh? About the state of morality in schools? Oh, and Beyonce. This is what he said. Quote, for the first 13 years of your kid's life, we teach them no religion, no philosophy, and no ethics. What? Maybe in your family, you half-wit son of a bitch. Who is our great moral teachers these days? You mean who are?
I'm sorry. It's like, what is our children learning?
Yeah, same stock. He goes on, every generation has always had great theologians or philosophers by the century that you can name. Who do we got right now? Who do we got? These are quotes off of videos that he had posted, and as Mother Jones points out, after this piece was published, those videos referenced were moved to private, so you can't see them now. What do we got right now? The audience says, Jay-Z. He says, right. The audience says, Beyonce. He says, right. Beyonce. When you can't name a serious philosopher, a national name, or a serious theologian, or a serious religious leader at the national level, your culture's got a major problem. We got a major problem. Oh, boy. He's gonna fit right in, isn't he? Now, this freak railed against the other freak for supporting a path to citizenship for some undocumented immigrants. Brat called this a policy of amnesty, and he accused Cantor of, quote, getting big paychecks from groups like the Chamber of Commerce. This is what Brat says. If I misspoke and said secretly, he's been pretty out in the open. He's been in favor of the Kids Act and the Dream Act, the Enlist Act, On the amnesty card, it's a matter of motivation. I teach third world economic development for the past 20 years. I love all people. I went to seminary before I did my economics. So you look at the motivation. Why is Eric pushing amnesty? It's not a big issue in our district. Everyone's opposed to it. So why is he doing it? And the answer is because he's got his eye on the speakership. He wants to be speaker and big business, right? The Business Roundtable and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce wants cheap labor, so he actually is selling out the people in our district. He's not representing the district, the will of the people, and he's getting big paychecks by doing so. So he's very clear on amnesty. Oh, United Nations? This is what he said. Common anything I'm against. United Nations, common everything. If you say common, by definition, you're saying top down. I'm going to force this on you. That's what dictators do. Is that what's meant when you say common people? He says he's against everything common. Common interest? Common goals? Barack Obama, he says, the left does not believe in diversity. They believe in top down. I'm going to force my way onto you. Obama is forcing undiversity onto everybody. It's not diversity. It's top down, central planning on everything. Central planning? Okay. In November, Brat will face Jack Trammell in the general election for the Republican district. Well, you know who's going to win. Let me ask you something seriously, Truth Seeker, and I don't care where you live. Do you give a rat's ass about this election? No, neither do I. I could not care less. Let me ask you a question, too. Why is this so important to the talking heads on Fox and MSNBC and CNN? Why?